Evan Neal said we should go to burger flipping a couple years ago there. Well, he's flipping positions, obviously, as we all know. Now he's going off to the guard position this year. A lot of good hype coming out of him in camp, actually. There's a lot of people saying point blank they think he might actually even take the right guard job from Greg Van Roten. I'll believe it when I see it because I spent too much time thinking Neal might be something good. And yeah, he wasn't good. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Giants, again, have not done him favors by messing up his injury and all kinds of stuff. Like, they're not innocent in this whole project and bust, here going on right now. But there's been a lot of positive talk about him here. So as much as we want to, think about the stuff he said a couple of years ago and take that to heart, because I definitely hold a grudge. I don't.
Without a doubt, I do.
I hold a grudge like you wouldn't believe, point blank.
From Jersey.
I'm goddamn Petty. You swear Richard Petty and Tom Petty had a child together somehow. That's how bad it is. It's bad. But here's Brian Daboll talking about it. He said, I think Evan steadily improved playing inside. Things happen a little quicker in there. He's a big man, so he's done a nice job on his double teams and getting movement. And it was good to see him out there in one-on-ones at the guard spot. We look for him to continue to improve. He's been a true pro about it, spends extra time with the line coaches, does extra work. So he's really put a lot of time and effort and energy into it. And it'll be good to see how it looks in the preseason when we can finish blocks and do those kinds of the next step. I gotta say, I can't buy it. It's Evan Neal. I have seen this man be a turnstile for years. And again, we've said in our show plenty of times, his biggest issue is setting the edge. By moving him inside, you took that responsibility away. You let him do what he does and be a big body that can run block, and you just hope to get something out of him as far as pass block. I can't buy into it at this point. I can't.
But that's it though. The run blocking. That's why I've been saying put this dude in at guard, because if you're gonna put him in at guard, and you're trying to build this offensive line, run the football. Don't have this dude dropping back, 40, 50 times to pass block. That's not where you want Evan Neal. So Evan Neal has to show improvements, at least to be adequate at pass blocking, but run blocking, I think he will excel at guard, if given time. But the Giants, they've been patient the Giants are a weird organization because it's like they've been patient when they don't need to be patient, but then they're impatient when they need to be patient in certain situations, and Evan Neal is one of these where you may just need to be patient, because you guys should have been moved him in at guard. You should have did this last year. I said it last year, and we wouldn't be talking about this now. He would have already had a year, and you would already have an idea of whether you wanted to, move forward with this guy or not. But
they Josh Ezeudu him. Let's call it. They Josh Ezeudu him. Here's a guy who should have been playing guard. They moved the tackle. And it should have been in the beginning.
You say Ezeudu, we could DJ them, whatever you want to say, because they
didn't try to make it. Though honestly, DJ probably could have played guard better than quarterback.
Probably not wrong.
Throw it out there. That's your problem now.
But I mean, you moved him around and tackle, and now he's going to guard. He's a big body dude, but his also problems was the one of the things I took away from that quote that Drew just said before is let's see how he finishes, because let's talk about he's a big body dude that was set on this in the the tackle position that was able to get in front of people, but people still got around him. He never finished the block, so it's easier as a guard because, well, you look to your left, you look to your right, there's someone else there. This is kind of hard to get, around the one way. But does he learn how to finish the block? Does he have to rely on the person next to him? Because then it's just making it harder for GMS. It's going to make it harder for, whoever's playing next to him. It should be interesting. And Drew and I have been beating the drum too. Let's move him inside. At this point, he's shown nothing Yeah, you might as well just put a panda
I
out
was
there
cool with it
that's
year one.
asleep on the field.
Yeah, I was cool with the year one. But after year one, it was pretty obvious he couldn't set an edge. And if you can't set an edge, you can't tackle. Like everybody talks about the setting the edge as an edge rusher, because I get it. It's usually a term used with defensive players there. But there is a actual science to setting an edge as a offensive tackle. You are the last line of defense. If you can't stop people from going outside and getting around you, you can't play tackle. Like
No,
that's like,
I mean,
that's like saying I'm a basketball player, but I can't put the ball in the hoop. Like, you can't do that. Number one job is you're the last line of defense. People can't get around you. There's no one there.
At least get in the way. You know, like get in the way. I could get in the way. Like, hey, where you going?
Nobody else play tackle like a one-legged man in an ass kicking contest.
Yeah,
he got there. He got right in front of him, but fell right on his butt every single time.
Oh my gosh. Now, at least it wasn't as bad as remember Matt Pert a couple years ago in preseason got beat on the outside by a corner. I forget who beat him, but it was a corner that literally got around him on a pass rush move. I was like, oh my God, stop this. So at least he's got it can get worse, guys. It can get worse. But I think the biggest thing I'm going to be curious when preseason starts to watch him do, because I've heard this has been his biggest issue so far, is mobility issues. When you're a guard, you're asked to do some things that you're not necessarily asked to do as a tackle very much. People think it's just move inside. It's an easier position. No, there's things you have to do as a guard that you don't have to do as a tackle. Pulling, for example. And you don't see a lot of that necessarily as a tackle. You're seeing it more with screen games and stuff like that, obviously, but you don't see it on a regular running play. Whereas in a lot of schemes, it's much more common to see the guard go from the right side to the left side or left side to the right side just to go help on the strong side where that running back is going. You know, it's a very
you guys concerned a little bit about this offensive line. And the reason I say that because you got JMS who you know some people are a little bit shaky on, and then you got this Evan Neal thing here now. We'll see what this rookie Bo turns out to be, Marcus Bo. But I mean, Thomas has been hurt a lot, you know, so I start to wonder a little bit about this offensive line. And the reason I wonder about this offensive line is because of the philosophy of the team I think they're trying to build. You know, you're not building a power running team. You know, you got athletic tackles, or you're trying to draft athletic tackles and players to try to pull and run more of I guess, an outside zone type scheme. But I don't know if this offensive line is going to work, you know, especially in this division. What's your thoughts, though?
I hear what you're saying, and I get it. I've also been a Giants fan for a very long time, and this is probably the most. This is probably at least the second youngest here, but this is probably the most optimistic I've been about the Giants' offensive line in the past 5 years, which is not saying much. Let me put it right there. It's a very low bar.
I'm expecting
but there's something that's it's different, right? Like last year we had a new offensive line coach, right? So you saw some difference with health there. Now we got some depth, right? And you had Evan Neal that had to be a tackle. Okay, now he's going to move over, right? So now you got a little bit more of a unison that's going on, a little bit more of a working together. Besides, like people that feel like they're privileged at the one position, people that have to be there. You're not drafting like anyone, right? Like there's definitely more talent that's needed and to be better. And I'm not saying that the Giants offensive line is going to be top 10. They may not be top 15, but it's also, you know, easy to move up when you're not, you know, ranking at 30.
When you get basically at the bottom.
5-7 years. But I have some faith in what they're doing because you're right. They're not going to be that team that's running the ball like they have with Barkley. They're trying to set up something better with a passing game. So it's trying to figure out their offensive scheme of how they're going to set up that passing game. Because obviously Dart is not going to throw the ball like Russell Wilson or James Winston. He just has a different style from those guys. So at the end of the day, like I think they've done the best what they could do to make this season the best, while making movements to get a better offensive line as they build up to the next season. So, am I worried? Yes, I'm always worried. I'm a Giants fan, but it's not my biggest concern on what the Giants need to improve.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the end, this offensive line is going to be made or broken basically by the health of Andrew Thomas. If you look at what happened last year, this line was much better the first 6 games or whatever, or 4 games, whatever it was before Andrew Thomas got hurt. It was ranked average in the league, which is horrible to say, but we were freaking ecstatic. Average offensive line. Oof, haven't seen one of those.
You saw a protected pocket.
Whoa. But that's what we had for the first time in basically forever. And Andrew Thomas went down, and then it just seemed like it just went to crap from there. So, he is the glue that holds this whole entire offensive line together. I do think Carmen Bricillo is a much better coach than we've had of late. Again, not saying much, I know. But I think he's a much better offensive line coach we've had in quite a while. Definitely going back to the Eli days at the very least there. And it's been a kind of a rotating door, that offensive line position coach. I mean, hell, I think we had 3 one year with Judge, didn't we? I mean, it's insanity.
Yeah.
And I think this is the measuring stick for Carmen Bricillo. If he can get something out of Evan Neal, I think the confidence level will go up at from the fan base, at least myself, as far as, okay, can these guys actually develop talent that you already have in the building? Because that's what a lot of it is. You look at guys like Ben Bredesen over in Tampa. He's doing well. Matt Pert, as you guys just spoke about in Denver, he got a contract. He's doing pretty well over there. So you see a lot of these offensive lines. Feliciano went to San Francisco, played well. A lot of these guys go to different places and actually play well. So there has been a developmental issue here, particularly with the offensive line. So to your guys' point, Carmen Bricillo, let's see if you can get something out of Evan Neal. Let's see if you can salvage something out of Josh Ezeudu or one of these guys that you guys have drafted, that this regime has drafted. This regime, this is their draft picks now. Let's see if y'all can get something out of these guys, and it'll make me feel more confident moving forward with this team.
I think Ezeudu is salvaging at this point. I mean, honestly, he's like the 65 Pinto sitting there in the pit that you're going, why didn't somebody smash this thing already yet? Like, that's where I feel like. But, if you want to talk about a reclamation project, is JMS. Point blank. Because we all had such high hopes. And like I said, I won't front and act like I'm like, I didn't like this pick. No, I freaking loved this pick when we got JMS. I thought that was
ecstatic. We were live on the draft. Ecstatic.
And yeah, like we were like, oh my god, great! We got one of the guys that we had selected. Like, this would be a great guy for us to get in this draft. Like, we all were like, and again, it doesn't even just our show. Like, there's a lot of people out there. I love people do revisionist history. They're like, oh, I was concerned about this. No, we all freaking were happy. Let's be honest.
We're all happy. We were at the draft. Yeah, Giants fans were going crazy with that pick. Yeah,
we were happy about Evan Neal. We were happy about JMS, and both those picks have done absolutely nothing for us because it's hard to compete at this point here. That's what it boils down to. So we got to get something out of these guys.
Yeah, listen, if you can make Evan Neal a serviceable player at this point in the tackle position, moving him into guard, like, that shows a lot. But Drew's right. You got to get JMS rolling. Like, you got to make him look good, because we had him ranked number 1 in the center position coming out of the draft.
Make us look good.
Yeah, please. We have egos here.
He's never healthy. He's never healthy. And he didn't have those issues in college. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's putting the pressure on himself and coming back too soon. But, you got to get him healthy first, then see what you got fully out of him. And Evan Neal, I think he'll be serviceable as a guard. I just don't know how serviceable. That's what it boils down to. Like, is he a guy who's serviceable, can be a backup, or is he a guy serviceable that is going to have a nice long career as a guard? Because he very well could be this generation's Eric Flowers, who the Giants should have point blank moved to guard when he was with us, and instead let him go to Miami and become a decent guard, and then had a couple good years with Washington, I believe, as well, before for some reason randomly falling off the NFL face of the earth there. But had a couple of good years. I think he even had he didn't even have like a Pro Bowl season, I think, even with Miami, or if not, he was close to it. Like I
I
said,
don't think he quite made it there,
he
but
wasn't.
he
He wasn't
definitely
at that level.
I'd have to look it up. I mean, again, he got a big contract. I remember that part of it. That's for sure. So somebody liked him. Like I said, we run the risk if we didn't do this that he would have been our version of Eric Flowers for this generation now. And I'm glad we're at least giving that the shot there. Yeah. No, okay. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. And it's weird. Like I said, I'm looking at it here because, like I said, he went from us. Then we gave him to Jacksonville at the end of his tenure with the Giants. He spent half a season there, didn't look good as well. Goes to Washington, looks really good. Goes to Miami, gets that big deal. And then Miami, after a year, gets rid of him and goes right back to Washington. And he was a starter for every game for those 3 years and looked good. If we can get that out of Evan Neal at this point, like 3-year decent starter, I'll be happy, considering what we've seen so far. And then he can go off. Then he can go off to go work at the local Bird King or whatever he wants to work afterwards. I don't know. Maybe, fool us all, instead of getting a burger place, become a Chick-fil-A franchise owner.
That was so out of pocket now.
Listen,
you look back at it, it's like, man, dang, dude, that really was out of pocket considering all we know about you right now. Like,
oh, God.
And the best part, if he goes to work at Chick-fil-A, he'll always have Sundays off to watch football.
There you go. Yep. Watch football. You said it.
Maybe he'll be a good coach. They say those who can't do teach. I don't know.
That's true. All them old backup quarterbacks going to be great coaches. Mike Kafka, all these guys, they can be pretty good coaches.
We talked about it forever. If you go back to the coaches,
Davis Webb, yeah.
If you go back to the best coaches in general in the NFL, usually they're scrub players.
Yeah.
I mean, name one guy who was a star player in the NFL went on to be a great head coach. Because
you spend all that time on the bench learning and not playing.
It comes natural to you, and you're gifted with talent. It's hard for you to teach what you never had to learn. You just naturally had. That's part of it. But this is the reason why Michael Jordan failed as an owner in basketball, why Wayne Gretzky failed as a coach in the NHL. The great ones, no pun intended, since obviously the great one himself was Wayne Gretzky, but like you're talking about the guys who had it like that. They didn't have they worked their tail off. I'm not trying to say they were just handed things and they were just that good naturally, but they started at a level they can't comprehend others not starting at. There is a difference,
There is, and there's also another big aspect of it is when you're the stud, the dude, the great guy out there, the guy that's making all the plays, being the ace, being the number one guy on the team in the league. You already made your money. You don't need to go coach. Yeah. Enjoy retirement.
But they all do. Look at them. They all come back and try. It happens because you miss the game.
Not all.
The ball is down to it. You miss the game if you love it. And I respect that actually of them. I really do. Dorothy says Mike Vrabel. But I'm going to say Mike Vrabel had literally one Pro Bowl in his entire career. If he didn't play for the Patriots, you'd remember him as a good player.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was great. Yeah, he was okay.
I love it because you saw him all those years in Super Bowls and playoff runs and all that kind of stuff. Coach Ed in the house. What's up, Ed? He says blessings and peace and blessings, gentlemen. What's up, man? Dorothy says we are just a few missed blocks away from Evan Neal finally joining us on our quest to professionally figure out how long you can keep a burger patty face down before needing to flip it. Oh my. And Jay says NYC icon, Aborigine Kenny, the heart of the city.
Peace,
Kenny years. How many years?
Dude.
How many years have you been following Kenny J? Is it before you started the show? We didn't get a restraining order going? You never know. I'm helping you out here just in case. You never know. Oh my God.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the Goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.